afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, families of the missing sabungeros calling for justice as they launch a network amid the ongoing search and retrieval operations for the e-sabong operators. AI-generated, Vice President Sara Duterte calls the images of her father, FPRRD, lying in a hospital bed fake. In sports, controversy in the PBA Philippine Cup as the TNT Tropang 5G escaped the San Miguel Beermen in an intense Game 1 of the finals. And Acclaimed director Antoinette Jadaone gets real as she tackles a controversial topic, abortion, in her new film, Sunshine. It's day 4 of the search and retrieval operations for the remains of the missing e-sabong operators, allegedly ordered executed for double-crossing a powerful group of individuals. And a network for the missing sabungeros goes online in Quezon City. Joash Malimban is on the phone from UP Diliman for updates. Joash, what can you tell us about this newly launched network?
My emotions ran high today as the Justice for Missing Sabungeros network was officially launched at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. The network is composed of families of the missing sabungeros, whistleblowers, and various advocacy groups. During the launch, families publicly called out gambling tycoon Atong Ang, expressing their anger over the alleged inhumane execution of their loved ones.
Hayop ka! Wala kang kasinsama. Magsisinungaling ka? Aminin mo na! Ikaw may-ari ng sabungan!
Also present at the press conference was whistleblower Dondon Patidongan, who previously revealed details of the alleged killings.
Una, pasalamat ako sa Panginoon na hanggang ngayon, buhay pa ako. Salamat sa mga kamag-anak na nandito ngayon, lalo na sa social media, sa ating mahal na Pangulo, sa SOJ, Crispin Remulla, sir, sa ating PNP chief, na siya ang nagpalakas loob para ako lumantad.
The network is now urging authorities to file charges against Atong Ang and his associates, investigate the former President Rodrigo Duterte and officials from his administration for allegedly covering up the case, and to continue search and recovery operations, especially in Taal Lake and other possible burial sites. They are also calling for the protection of whistleblowers and the families of the victims, and for the recognition of these enforced disappearances as a systematic and ongoing crime that continues to this day. Families thanked PNP Chief General Nicolas Torre and Justice Secretary Boying Remulla for pursuing the investigation and voiced their full support for Dondon Patidongan for speaking out, calling on other potential witnesses to come forward. Mai.
George, you said one of the calls of the families is to investigate FPRRD and his administration. What do they exactly mean by this?
Mai, according to the families, in the almost 4 years since the first investigation into the case, multiple cover-ups have been carried out, some allegedly involving high-ranking officials from the Duterte administration. That's why they are calling for clarity on whether these officials who allegedly deliberately obstructed the investigations are also involved in the cover-up. Mai.
Thank you for that report, Joash Malimban, reporting to us from Quezon City. The Philippine Coast Guard denies the Tanim Sako allegations. That's after critics said the sacks retrieved by the Philippine Coast Guard were planted.
Gaya ng marami, nagtataka ako kung bakit taon nang binilang, mukhang solid pa yung mga sako, no? Diyan sa Taal Lake.
PCG Southern Tagalog Commander Commodore Jeronimo Tuvilla explained they needed to put a fine mesh net over the sacks to prevent what was retrieved from falling apart.
We cannot please everyone. Basta kami yung inyong Philippine Coast Guard, katuwang yung Philippine National Police and the Department of Justice. tuloy-tuloy lang namin gagawin yung aming trabaho professionally, diligently, and properly. Logically, na common sense lang naman yun na pag inangat mo at may opening, it might fall out, no? Hindi natin mape-preserve yung integridad ng mga nakukuha natin sa bottom.
Old news. That's how the Department of National Defense brushed off reports claiming Secretary Gibo Chodoro once held a Maltese passport. In a statement, it says the passport was surrendered and renounced before Chodoro filed his certificate of candidacy in 2021. They add the information was disclosed to the Bureau of Immigration, the COMELEC, and the Commission on Appointments prior to his appointment as Defense Secretary. The department also said Chodoro sees a clear motive behind the timing of the disclosure, though that motive has yet to be revealed publicly. So far, the defense chief has yet to personally comment on the issue. Vice President Sara Duterte is warning of false information about the health of her father, former President Rodrigo Duterte. She says the viral photo of a man in a hospital bed is not her father, but a fake AI-generated image. Here's Hanati with the report.
If you've ever seen a photo of former President Rodrigo Duterte lying in a hospital bed, it's fake. His daughter, Vice President Sara Duterte, set the record straight. The image showing an elderly man with a medical tag spread online, which raised concerns about Duterte's health in ICC detention. But VP Sara says it's not him.
Hindi po totoo yung photo na yon. Hindi totoo yung photo na yon. Malamang edited yung photo na yon. Ibang pasyente yon. Inano lang nila yung mukha ni dating Pangulong Duterte.
Her 80-year-old father is detained at the regular wing of the ICC detention center, not the hospital. And though thinner, he's able to walk with a cane.
Kanina, naglalakad naman siyang mag-isa, albeit may dala-dala siyang tungkod. Oo, may dala-dala siyang tungkod. So clearly, wala siyang sakit na, kumbaga, kailangan niya maging bedridden.
The netizen named Cherry Murphy, who appeared to first release the photo, admitted in the comments section that it was AI-generated. VP Sara's mother, Elizabeth Zimmerman, recently said Duterte is now skin and bones, but admits he's still healthy for his age. VP Sara says his appearance has changed, but stresses that his face remains firm, even as he loses weight.
Hindi ko pa siya nakita na ganito kapayat, except sa photo niya nung siya ay binata pa. Hindi bumagsak yung kanyang muka, yung kanyang wrinkles. Mas marami pa nga siguro akong yung crow's feet dito. Ilan lang. Yung dito lang talaga meron sa noo. Pero yung dito wala.
When asked if a medical bulletin might be released by the ICC, she says it's up to the legal team to request it. Calls for Duterte's release are getting louder. Senator Alan Peter Cayetano recently filed a resolution urging the government to ask the ICC for his interim release and to place him under house arrest inside the Philippine Embassy in The Hague. Malacanang has since responded briefly. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro simply said, noted. Duterte has been in ICC custody for 4 months after being arrested for crimes against humanity because of his bloody drug war. Hannah T, Billionario News Channel.
The United States is sending more Patriot air defense missiles to Ukraine. President Donald Trump says these sophisticated weapons are necessary for Ukraine to defend itself from Russian bombings. This move has signaled a change of heart from Trump, who had held off approving any new weapon shipments to Ukraine since the start of his second term. Trump has grown increasingly disappointed with his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin, as he has repeatedly rejected Trump's attempts to negotiate a ceasefire.
I haven't agreed on the number yet, but they're going to have some because they do need protection. But the European Union is paying for it. We're not paying anything for it, but we will send it. It'll be business for us, and we will send them Patriots, which they desperately need because Putin really surprised a lot of people. He talks nice and then he bombs everybody in the evening. So there's a little bit of a problem there, and I don't like it.
On to the war in Gaza, as U.S. President Trump is hoping a ceasefire deal will be hammered out this week. Trump has proposed a 60-day truce that will include a phased release of Hamas hostages, the withdrawal of Israeli troops from parts of Gaza, and talks to end the conflict. The Palestinian death toll from the war has already passed 58,000, according to Gaza's health ministry. Israel's latest attack on Sunday left at least 95 dead. Bob Geldof marked the 40th anniversary of Live Aid in London Sunday, joining the cast of Just for One Day, a new musical about the historic concert. Asked about staging a similar event for Palestine, Geldof said pop music no longer holds the cultural power it once did.
I'm constantly asked about why not do a Live Aid for Palestine and stop that horror and that carnage. And the thing is, pop music doesn't do that anymore. Pop music back then was the spine of society. It defined what we could articulate, what we were and where we should go. That's been sublimated by social media these days. So a concert wouldn't work. But the point about a concert is you need to posit an end that's achievable. The end to Palestine, my answer always is what's it? The two-state solution. The end to Palestine is to just stop killing people. That's the end of it.
The original 1985 concert raised $100 million for famine relief in Ethiopia and was watched by 1.5 billion people worldwide. Just for One Day is now running in London's West End, with proceeds supporting the Band Aid Charitable Trust. 11 more Filipino seafarers from the ship MV Magic Seas, attacked by Houthi rebels in the Red Sea, have arrived back in the Philippines. They were welcomed at NAIA Terminal 3 by officials from the Department of Migrant Workers and other government representatives over the weekend. This brings to 17 the total number of Filipino crew members who have been repatriated. According to the DMW, comprehensive reintegration support is ready to help the seafarers safely rejoin their families and communities. The Ibon Foundation believes the Philippine economy must become more self-reliant. Executive Director Sonny Africa says the U.S. tariff hike exposes the country's weak, export-dependent economy that relies heavily on foreign markets. Africa warns the manufacturing sector could be hit hard, leading to significant job losses. He urges President Bongbong Marcos to challenge the U.S. tariff hike and focus on strengthening domestic purchasing power to protect the local economy. Fuel prices are expected to rise following 2 consecutive weeks of rollbacks. The cost of diesel may soar by up to 1 peso and 50 centavos per liter starting tomorrow, July 15th. Gasoline might go up by 60 centavos to 80 centavos per liter. The expected hike is driven by strong fuel demand, which has outweighed the effects of increased supply. Fuel retailers say renewed Houthi attacks in the Red Sea and concerns over potential impacts from new U.S. tariffs are also contributing to the upward pressure on oil prices. We're taking a break. Up next, high drama in the PBA Philippine Cup finals as the TNT Tropang 5G escapes San Miguel in controversial fashion. That when Newsfeed at Noon returns. A heads up to airline travelers, NAIA Terminal 3 will have a brownout starting tomorrow, July 15, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. on July 16. According to the new NAIA Infrastructure Corporation, this is due to power maintenance by Meralco in the area. So expect intermittent power to the air conditioning, lights, the elevators and escalators, the baggage systems and power outlets. The NNIC says they are doing all they can to minimize the inconvenience for travelers. In sports, the championship series between the TNT Tropang 5G and the San Miguel Beermen off to a controversial start in the PBA Philippine Cup finals. The Grand Slam-seeking TNT escaped the Beermen in Game 1 on Sunday at the Smart Araneta Coliseum, 99-96. RR Pogoy led the way for TNT with 23 points, while Jordan Heading added 19 and 6 assists. Eight-time MVP Junmar Fajardo had a monster game of 26 points and 15 rebounds, but it wasn't enough to secure the win. Game 1 ended in controversy after San Miguel's Mo Tautua had a late dunk nullified for basket interference. Officials ruled he pulled the rim down, causing the ball to drop in unnaturally, allowing TNT to escape with the win. Game 2 of the best-of-7 series is on Wednesday, July 16, still at the Big Dome. In tennis, sweet revenge for Yannick Sinner, who defeated Spain's Carlos Alcaraz to become the new king of Wimbledon. Sinner, meanwhile, a huge flex from basketball star Kefir Ravena as he reps the Philippines overseas for a major shoe brand. Take a look at this. The Japan-based Filipino hooper shared a photo of himself surrounded by an elite group, which includes six-time NBA champion Michael Jordan and NBA superstars Luka Doncic and Paolo Banchero. Ravena is in Greece for a major shoe brand's exclusive event where he is one of its signature athletes. We're taking another breather. Up ahead, film actress Vanessa Hudgens announces she's having baby number 2. That and more when Newsfeed at Noon returns. Director Antoinette Jadaone, one of the leading voices in modern Philippine cinema, is back with her most thought-provoking output yet. Sunshine, which stars Maris Racal as a student athlete, is centered around the very controversial topic in the country, abortion. In an interview on BNC's new morning podcast, Beautiful Day, she told us why she felt this story needed to be told on a bigger platform.
While I was researching and doing immersion for Sunshine, di ko talaga alam yung mga ganyang statistics that there are 3 Filipino women who die every day. 3 women who die every day from complications brought by abortion. And a lot of them, our youngest ever to give birth in the Philippines was 9 years old, and she was also a victim of incest. Before, it was just like a concept to me. Hindi lang siya kwento, hindi lang siya something na nababasa ko sa internet. Hindi lang sila parte ng news na binabalita. Mga totoong tao sila na hindi lang kailangang ikwento, kailangan siya talagang maparating sa mga tao kasi Sunshine may just be a fictional character, pero siya yung suma total ng lahat ng mga bagets talaga yung mga na-interview ko eh. 19 years old and below. Na grabe yung pinagdaanan. Yun, kaya ganun yung sinabi ko, we always hear the saying na it takes a village to raise a child. And I guess in Sunshine, I wanted to show and ask the question, have we been doing a good job being that village, raising the child who is Sunshine?
Before we go, some baby news from Hollywood. Film actress Vanessa Hudgens is expecting her second baby with her husband, former baseball player Cole Tucker. The couple shared a joint post on Instagram where Vanessa flexed her baby bump. The High School Musical alum tied the knot with Cole in 2023 and welcomed their first child in July of last year. She was named the Global Ambassador to the Philippines in March 2023. And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Stay with the Billionaire News Channel. Good afternoon.